Well, this is a problem Nikola Tesla set out to solve in 1913.
Reveals details of a laser defense system.
Today, we are going to talk about everybody's favorite wizard, Nikola Tesla. The man was an inventor and an engineer, but he is most famous for his rebellious ideas, which were way ahead of his time. He had 300 patents to his name across 26 countries. If that isn't impressive, I don't know what is. If he had the money and resources that we have today, God knows what remarkable device he would have constructed.
The induction motor. 2 pairs of coiled copper wires are charged with alternating current.
If you have any doubt about his superior mind, take a look at all these controversial inventions that would have broken the internet today. Let's get started. Number 1. The destructive death ray. The one supposed invention by Tesla that has everyone hooked for decades is the ultimate death ray. The rumors were started by Mr. Tesla himself. He started bragging to reporters about his next big idea, the Teleforce. He claimed that the weapon could shoot down a fleet of 10,000 airplanes from 250 miles.
Reveals details of a laser defense system, capable of shooting missiles from the sky with a pulse of energy.
Bringing everything in sight to rubble. After Tesla's death, countries dove into a petty race quite quickly, eager to get their hands on the weapon. Word got around that Tesla had hidden a package in a secret vault. People thought that he had created a prototype of the death ray. They started scrambling to get there in a hurry, but the secret package turned out to be an ordinary measurement device, the Wheatstone Bridge. The media started calling the idea bogus, but they didn't know that Tesla was fooling them. In his life, Tesla had contacted Britain to sell his death ray idea, but they had turned him down. They went around his back to steal the weapon's blueprints and hired Robert Watson Watt to build the death ray. What the government didn't know was that the blueprints only had 99% of the idea. Watt created the whole design, but he didn't know how to give enough power to the machine. That secret was with Tesla, who experts claim connects to the Wheatstone Bridge he kept in his vault. So, did the secret die with Tesla? That's what the world thinks, at least. Number 2. Fuel-less supersonic airship. In the year 1919, Tesla proposed the thrilling idea of designing a supersonic airship. This advanced vehicle would be electronically charged and powered by wireless transmission from towers on the ground. It would travel at a staggering speed of 1,000 miles per hour and float about 8 miles above the surface of the Earth. That meant that the airship could have taken you from New York City to London in 3 hours only. Experts claim that Tesla intended to keep it 40,000 feet in the air, but the most shocking thing about the project was the way it would work. Tesla claimed that the airship would run on virtually unlimited power. The power plants would work together to power the airship the same way as the trains are powered with electric energy through rails. All in all, there would have been no need for fuel to charge the airplanes. If this idea had worked, the airplanes today would have been very, very different. Number 3. The peaceful artificial tidal wave. Tesla wasn't just about creating destructive weapons. He also had an idea to render the war almost impossible. That's probably why it didn't turn into a reality. He proposed a cool name for his anti-war technology, calling it teleautomaton. It was just a fancy name for explosive drones that would sweep away fleets of Navy boats in a matter of mere seconds. But the way they worked was pretty fascinating. The teleautomatons would carry tons of explosives hidden somewhere under the sea. When the enemy fleet would get close to the range of explosives, they would blast off. The huge explosion would create a powerful gas bubble that would shake the sea, producing tidal waves rising up to a height of 100 feet. This massive whirlpool of waves would have been enough to send shivers down the spines of enemies, obliterating the enemy's entire Navy fleet. Within 10 seconds, a single vessel would have dropped into the sea as if in free fall, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Even the carcass wouldn't have been spotted had this been used. Tests were done on the idea, but they weren't successful enough, or that's what the media says. Number 4. The revolutionary wireless energy. Tesla was given a whopping $1,500,000 as funding for this project. If you want a bit of context, That's almost $5.5 million today. But what was it? He was assigned to construct a bell-shaped tower that could send messages across the Atlantic Ocean. It could also send images to ships at sea, allowing for better communication with the world. While that idea worked, Tesla was more interested in offering wireless energy to the world.
This was all a development he expected to take forward into the wireless transmission of electricity.
So, the 185 feet Wardenclyffe Tower was created and put on the shore of Long Island. After work began, Tesla believed that it could have powered the whole of New York City. But his dreams crashed when the investor pulled out of the project and refused to fund Tesla's ideas. He couldn't get funding from any other place either. Tesla had no choice but to abandon the project. Nearly 9 years later, the Wardenclyffe Tower was demolished too, but the remains of it are still alive at the same place. But there was one tiny problem that not a lot of people know today. The tower was missing a very crucial part. The mushroom head on the tower was never installed, which would have generated hundreds of megavolts. It was just a mere spark-producing machine at the time when the funding stopped. We can only wonder what it could have been. Number 5. The incredible thought camera. Tesla had an idea that could have changed the entire course of history. It would have pushed the people of the 20th century straight into the next. But what was this idea? He believed that a camera could have photographed anyone's thoughts. Tesla insisted that if a person thinks of an image, it must produce a corresponding image on the retina because of reflex action. Any apparatus could have scanned that image, allowing people to see their thoughts directly on the screen. It was an idea unlike anything that you hear, especially at that time. Forget that time. This idea is still a dream of today, making scientists scramble to build a solid device that could pull this off. To a good extent, they already have. But could Tesla's idea have been much better? I guess we will never know. Number 6. The scary mechanical oscillator. This was the invention that Tesla destroyed himself. What was he so scared of? Back in 1893, he was working in the lab on his steam-powered mechanical oscillator. The idea was that it would vibrate up and down at blazing speeds, generating high-powered electricity. But maybe Tesla got too carried away while designing his project because even he wasn't prepared for what happened next. One day, he was playing around with his new toy. He tuned the machine to the vibration of the building, amping up the power. Just as he did so, the ground of the lab started to shake. He was curious, so he kept turning up the power. Suddenly, he started hearing cracking sounds, and all the heavy machinery in his lab started to fly around in the air. That's when he knew he had to stop, because if he hadn't, the building would have been nothing but rubble. He grabbed a hammer and broke the machine. The chaos had caused the police to pull up to the scene, but Tesla and his workers lied that it must have been an earthquake. Number 7. The remarkable radio-controlled boat. Tesla was a showman who was always adding a bit of grandeur to his ideas. This one wasn't any different. In an exhibition, he put a 4-feet-long boat in an indoor pool that he had set up. He hid the control box and pretended to use his voice to control the boat. He even asked the crowd to join in on the show, asking them to shout whatever they wanted. The boat moved slyly and even flashed different lights. He later revealed the mechanics behind the device and left the audience stunned, to say the least. What's funny is that very few people knew about the concept of radio waves.
Here's where Nikola Tesla's remote control comes in. His device produced electromagnetic pulses such that one pulse made the drum turn by 90 degrees.
And Tesla wanted to have a bit of fun with it. In reality, he did, because people started calling him a magician. It wasn't until the late 20th century that the government decided to put this concept into use for military operations. The inventor didn't want to stop at one radio-controlled boat, though. He believed that an entire Navy fleet of such boats would replace the conventional ships one day, but that never happened. Number 8. The Battle of the X-ray. The crown for creating X-rays would have been on Tesla's head, but he was beaten to the battle by Wilhelm Röntgen by a year. The man started experimenting with X-rays in the year 1894, but a fire erupted in his lab the very next year, leaving his equipment and his results to dust. He didn't stop though. Even after Röntgen's study was published, Tesla managed to take X-rays of both his feet and his hand and called them shadowgraphs. The images are still popular to this day, but he soon realized that there was a need to remain cautious around X-rays. Digging even more into the concept of radiation and X-rays, he found a creative solution. So, he built an aluminum shield to stick it between the equipment and himself. This defensive barrier could have protected the patient from harmful rays. Sadly, it didn't work out that well. Number 9. The better light bulb. Many people think that Tesla's neon lamp was far better than the light bulb that Edison created. Is it a fan war or an actual debate? First of all, let's get this out of the way. Tesla did not invent a neon lamp. Instead, when he showed the neon bulb to the world, he was trying to show something else. The man was working on wireless electricity at the time. The neon bulb was his way of showing that the concept of going wireless could actually work. There are a lot of people who think Tesla was the first person to build neon lights, but they are wrong. Neon lights were built far earlier than Tesla, but this invention wasn't short of extraordinary. He managed to show that there is no need for wires for bulbs to work. But he didn't just do that. Experts claim that his wireless light bulbs flash brighter and longer than Edison's light bulbs. It didn't even get heated as fast as the conventional bulb, but sadly, the idea never became a reality. Number 10. The ever-popular Tesla coil. Tesla was clearly interested in developing wireless energy. He got to work and created the Tesla coil. In 1891, he created a device that could generate high-voltage current. It had a primary coil that passed the current to the secondary coil, ultimately producing electricity. The good thing was that the idea worked. He even put the bulbs closer to the Tesla coil to show that it didn't harm him. Seeing the fruitful results, he got ambitious and built a much larger version of the Tesla coil.
Built a larger version of his Tesla coil called the magnifying transmitter. It measured 51 feet or 15.5 meters in diameter.
The new coil stretched up to 51 feet, and he dubbed it the magnifying transmitter. This coil worked too. It lit up 3 bulbs at a distance of 100 feet. Tesla knew he needed funding to pull his dreams closer to reality. It was time to make it happen. But midway into his progress, the Wardenclyffe Tower collapsed, and he was forced to leave his idea behind. Plus, there was no guarantee that the Tesla coil worked at a broader distance, so Tesla had to lay his idea to rest. Number 11. The speedy Tesla turbine. Experts claim that Tesla's version of a turbine was far more efficient and revolutionary. It was a bladeless turbine that avoided getting tired after a few hours. Unlike other turbines lose about 35% of energy due to heat, but Tesla's version was way ahead of them, offering nearly 97% efficiency. The steam turbines at that time had less than 40% efficiency.
Well, this is a problem Nikola Tesla set out to solve in 1913 with the patent of the Tesla turbine.
Tesla turbine was not just beating the steam turbines, they were sprinting far ahead in the race. The average speed by the turbine was nearly 3,600 RPM. It could generate 670 watts of power. Modern turbines for electric power generators can generate nearly 3,000 to 3,600 RPM. Experts argue that Tesla's design can only work in specific conditions, for micro-scale power generation and with fluids that have a high flow to avoid clogging. But they have yet to make one that matches Tesla's design perfectly. Many people have tried to replicate Tesla's model, but they have not quite achieved the same efficiency. Number 12. The hydroelectric power plant at Niagara Falls. Tesla believed that fossil fuels were dirty and finite. He didn't think they were the way to go into the future. So, he started cooking up ways to invent renewable energy sources. But was he successful? Spoiler alert, he was very much triumphant. Tesla and George Westinghouse were crowned with the title of opening the first hydroelectric power plant in the entire world. They opened up the Adams Power Station, which has long been demolished. But one building of the power plant remains standing today. A lot of people are hoping for it to become a museum. This power plant was set at Niagara Falls, forever changing the course of history. We can only wonder what would have happened if he had set up more renewable energy plants around the world. Number 13. The rebellious invention of the alternating current. Tesla changed the way electricity works, but it all started with a fight. Tesla's passion for creating alternating current had sparked a rift between him and Thomas Edison. He was working at Edison's headquarters when a disagreement started to brew between the two. Tesla wanted to improve Edison's DC motor and generator with AC, but Edison didn't think Tesla could pull it off, so he offered $50,000 as a joke to set the stage for a bet. A while later, Tesla came back ready to claim his winnings, but Edison dismissed his idea.
My name is Nikola Tesla, and I'm here to ask for 50,000 American dollars to license the patent for my new invention.
So, Tesla resigned and went to work with Westinghouse, who was already Edison's competitor. The two companies fought, but the rivalry didn't go long enough. Tesla's AC proved to be the clear winner because of its ability to run thousands of miles with minimal loss. Today, AC is used widely in every nook and corner of the world, making Tesla a legend. Number 14. The controversial flying machine. Tesla's flying machine looked a lot like what we call a UFO. At least, that's what half of his audience believes. The world is split into two parties. Some think that he created a vertical landing ship, while others insist that he built a box-type aircraft with wings. But the former side seems to have taken a win over the public. The device that Tesla apparently proposed was a disc-shaped vehicle that didn't have wings. It was supposed to land and take off in a vertical position. Tesla claimed that it would work on a new kind of energy. Many people think that he was working on an anti-gravity technology that would send the vehicle running at blazing speeds and at staggering heights. But it is just a rumor. A lot of people believe that the government secretly worked on turning Tesla's idea into a reality. That's why a lot of UFOs were spotted by people. The government probably didn't want to blow their cover and fueled the alien dilemma. Sorry to burst your bubble of fantasy, but it might or might not be true. What do you think about all of this? Number 15. Tesla's electric car concept, myth or reality? Tesla seemed to have created the electric car in the early 20th century. He didn't just design it, but he perfected the technology. But is it a myth? When Tesla was toying around with wireless energy, he did a certain experiment that remained hidden for a very long time. But then Tesla's nephew came forward with a sweet confession and unraveled the secret. He claimed that Tesla had built an electric car. In 1931, Tesla took his nephew to a place where there was a modified version of the Pierce Arrow standing before him. The gasoline engine of the car had been removed. Instead, it was running on an AC motor. But that's not the most shocking part of the story. His nephew claimed that it was working. Tesla's electric car drove at a stunning speed of 90 miles per hour. The astonishing win didn't happen by chance either, because the car apparently ran for 50 miles in 8 days. But here's the problem. There was never any physical evidence found of the car. Even today, people speculate whether the car actually existed and is lost in time, or if is it all just bogus. Number 16. The forgotten Tesla valve. One of Tesla's forgotten inventions is the Tesla valve. He called it the valvular conduit. Scientists have tried to remake the model of the Tesla valve to check its efficiency. They were left astonished. They found that the 100-year-old valve was far more efficient and functional than it was previously believed. The unique shape of the valve,
You guessed it. Here, the flow is getting divided into two parts along with the flow divergence.
is a perfect testament to Tesla's knack for trying to be grand. But it isn't all just for show. Scientists found out that the device provides the perfect path for forward flow, but the route is slower for reverse flow. This contradiction makes it a perfect tool for when the flow needs to be controlled. That's not all. They also found out that the turbulence only appears at lower flow rates, and this was quite unique to the device. This has never been seen in conventional pipes or tubes, making it an interesting choice for use. Sadly, this device has long been forgotten. Number 17. The powerful egg of Columbus. Back in 1893, Tesla developed the egg of Columbus to show how AC motors work. The magical show at the exhibition left the audience stunned. The egg seemed to be rolling on its own, eventually coming to a stand. What was going on behind the curtains was simple electronics. When the AC is supplied, the wool-filled copper egg would start rotating due to the spinning magnetic field. He also showed the power of the spinning magnetic field by putting small balls on the same setup. The tiny copper balls started rotating around the edge, similar to how the planets move. A replica of the device is placed at the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade. If you go there, make sure you visit to see the magic happening right before your very eyes. Number 18. The myth of working on pyramids. Sources claim that Tesla was obsessed with pyramids. He believed that there was more to the pyramids than just a building built for show. Pyramids have always baffled people. Nobody knows how they were built, but a lot of people think that they were constructed as tombs for pharaohs. Tesla apparently didn't agree. He believed that the pyramids were energy generators that could have produced free and limitless energy. He wasn't just playing into the conspiracy theories. He had a reason for making this claim. Tesla claimed that the pyramids were made of conductive materials like granite and limestone that could very well transmit energy. He even built a miniature pyramid to prove his theory. He made it with paper and wire, placing it under a beam of charged particles. You won't believe what happened next. The pyramids started to glow. Tesla claimed that the pyramids must be taking energy from the Earth's magnetic field. That's how it could produce limitless energy. He also believed that the Great Pyramid's perfect location had something to do with its ability to harness energy. But is it true? Modern scientists disagree. They think that it is all pseudoscience. But here's where it gets interesting. Experts believe that Tesla's work on the pyramids is classified and it is all kept hidden. Do you think the government is hiding something? I guess it wouldn't be the first time. Number 19. The lightning protector. Another Tesla invention that isn't talked about much today is the lightning protector. He wasn't the first to invent it, but like all Tesla inventions, many people think it was the better version. The idea was to protect airplanes, helicopters, and houses from lightning. The main target audience, obviously, was the flying vehicles, since they were directly exposed to lightning when flying through thunderstorms. So, in 1916, Tesla put forward his idea of a kite-shaped lightning protector that opposed Franklin's idea of a pointy lightning protector. Tesla claimed that Franklin's lightning increased the risk of a lightning strike. So, he brought a round-shaped device that prevents lightning from forming, but he never built it. The idea became a reality after nearly a century had passed by a group of engineers. What's astonishing is that they managed to make it work. They claim that it is far better than the lightning rods people use. Only Tesla's inventions can be so far ahead in time to be perfectly functional even after 100 years have passed. Number 20. Tesla's astonishing fountain. Tesla didn't just invent a turbine to let go. He definitely had a few ideas up his sleeves that he wanted to give a try. One of them was a modified version of a fountain. While conventional fountains work on using a large volume of water, Tesla's version was slightly different. The fountains we see today usually work several times a few for only a couple of hours. They claim that they are saving water, but it appears unlikely. Tesla's solution proposes a fountain that can work on a small volume of water. The design consists of a shaft that runs vertically at the center of the fountain. At the bottom, there is a propeller and a motor at the top. What it does is send a tiny amount of water running at a high speed to the top. Since the ride is short to the top, the water overflows. As a result, it cascades down to the bottom in a fancy manner. This shows that you can use fountains with a relatively short volume and actually save water. He even went ahead to explain a few ways to make it more aesthetic. Do you think Tesla's version is much better than the massive fountains used for shows today? That's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Which of these Tesla inventions did you like the most? Which one would you like to see become a reality? Most of all, if Tesla were alive today, what would you think he would have designed? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.